my God. Well, Logan is officially goated. Droll and Lockbird at resolution of Thuban.
Too nice.
Or is he goated at all? Josh has the orange.
Oh, man.
But he is
bright.
goated.
Oh,
he has the orange back.
It's too bright. It is too bright.
What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here, and the DRYKAGE strikes again. We got second place at the Otakon YuGiOh Extravaganza PPG tournament with none other than the Drytrons. They performed quite well, and I can't wait to show you guys this topping list from a nice big IRL tournament. Before we get into it, shout out to Team Grim YuGiOh and your playmat. Be sure to check them out. Link in the description down below, where you can find yourself some dope custom card sleeve, custom playmats, and a whole lot more. I don't want to preface this too much. Let's get into the list. What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here, coming at you with the second place PPG Otakon Extravaganza list that I played yesterday. The DRYKAGE strikes again, and we actually got a top at an IRL event, one step away from first place. Lost out in the finals to Adignisters, but still was a phenomenal day. I played well for the most part, and then when I was on stream, all my plays were extremely awkward, so my sincerest apologies to anybody who saw it live and could see some obvious biffs, but there were some obvious highlights as well, which is really cool to see. Anyway, I don't want to preface this too much. Shout out to Team Grim YuGiOh, you know, the squad. And yeah, let's just get into this list, guys. I'll go really quick through the basic stuff. This is 3.0 technically, but it's very similar to version 2.0. Minor changes are in the side deck. Starting things off, we got the triple alpha, triple zeta. No explanation needed there. Double gamma, double delta, same as in 2.0. This is the strategy that's worked for me. 10 names is the perfect amount. That's right. 6, yeah, 10. Sorry, poor at math, clearly, but that is what we went with. Moving on quickly, triple diviner, triple orange light. Okay, stick with these ratios. 2 and 1's not for me. There was a lot of times when I hard opened Herald of Orange Light and it came in super duper clutch for negate the opponent's turn. And I get it, that's very subjective, but I do like having it maxed out. Also, when you see it in your opening hand with your combo, that means your combo is extra safe and you don't have to waste a search on the orange light. Or if you hard open any fairy as well, like an additional fairy that you don't need, you can just work with that. Double Ava, stuck with that, kind of goes hand in glove with those other cards. Moving on from there, the triple Droll and Lockbirds and the triple effect Veilers in the main. I opted to main hand traps for this event, and it did me good. Veiler was very strong at just key consequential moments. This was able to win me a game, negating Zeus's, negating Tri-Brigade effects, just time and time again, negating Sky Strikers. Played against a few of those, and it worked. Droll and Lockbird in the main as well made the mirror match quite a breeze. I played against 2 different mirror matches, and I won them both. Moving on from there, we've got the cards for the Dragoon package. We know that Dragoon is the way to go. And for the Ritual lineup, we've got the obvious Ben 10. I still play Ida 10 and Natasha. Natasha was a little underwhelming. I used it for the kill a few times, but I don't know. I might have to reconsider this. However, I've been enjoying it up until this point, and I plan to continue playing it as of right now, but just want to preface this by saying it was a little underwhelming for this particular event. The one ultimateness, shout out to me not summoning this in the semifinals. I thought Dragoon was enough and I had plenty of hand advantage, and it was at the point where I had a bit of an awkward opening. I'm like, I'm just going to go for Dragoon and leave it there and hope that the follow-up is enough, and I had a lot of hand traps as well. So I was like, okay, I don't need to summon this, but should have summoned it in reality. It was very silly for me not to summon it, but it worked out okay in the end. We still won that game. And I played the one Draconid still. There's a few times where it came up, but in all honesty, this is cuttable and it might be cut in the next version. So I just want to keep that prefaced by saying, like, you know, what things worked well and what things I anticipate changing in the future after playing this for a while and for performing with it. Spell lineup: Triple Nova, Triple Emergency, Double Medionis. This was a biff. Double Medionis was so unnecessary. Like, by round 2 of the tournament, I was siding out one of these almost every game 2 and 3. It was just not good. You don't need to play 2 of this. I'm going back to 1. I don't know what I was thinking. They can't Cycle Reader Medionis, and nobody's playing DD Crow right now. And then the one-ofs. Foolish Burial wouldn't cut it for the life of me. One Call by the Grave. Oh my goodness, I saw this a lot. And one Red Eyes Fusion for the Dragoon. That is it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck next. Again, I'll keep it super brief. I'll only talk about the important stuff. Double Moy Beta Fafnir, you have to play 2. One Lyrilusk assembled Nightingale. This came up twice, I want to say, but to be fair, I might cut this for the Downerd. I'm thinking about cutting this for the Downerd for the additional Zeus Send, which I think may come up more often, but we'll see. As of right now, that's where I'm at with that. The one Beatrice, you gotta play it. The one Zeus, you gotta play it, and that's it for the Exceed monsters. Moving on from there, the one Linkuriboh, Essential, the one Verte to make the Dragoon, the one IP Masquerena, a key piece of my end boards. Shout out to Cody Angeloff. I asked him about this on his list, if you could play IP without the Appaloosa, and if it was effective. Yes, apparently it is, and it did me good. I thought it was enough. And the real thing that I love doing with the IP is tagging it out with the Linkuriboh and the Beatrice with no materials to make Boral Sword at the end phase of my opponent's turn, so I can switch Herald of Ultimateness to attack and then just proceed to kill without making a single play on my turn. Moving on, one Phoenix, one Unicorn, and then the one Boral Sword. This is another change, a little bit of a divergence. I'm not playing Access Code anymore, I'm now playing Boral Sword, and it's been doing me good. Moving on from there, two Herald of the Arclight, second copy has come up, and the one Elder Entity Nis, one is all you need. Finally, the Dragoon that won me so many games that I shouldn't have. Essential at this point, I gotta say. Dragoon is essential, so seriously guys, consider giving it a shot if you haven't already done so. If it doesn't work for you, then so be it, you don't have to do it. My friend Adam didn't play and he said he didn't miss it, but yeah. Anyway, moving on from there, side deck. The key card of the side deck, baby. This had one of the best moments on stream. When I ripped a Droll out of my opponent's hand with an Aqua Dolphin. That was nice, alright? This card is awesome. I gotta say, huge shout out to the Aqua Dolphin. It put in work. Now, mind you, costing the normal summon does kind of suck. Sometimes it stops you from getting to the end board. I know the combo to do it. When I was playing this on stream, I opted not to. I made a very similar play to what I did when I was playing against Bean Soldier. But, you know, it really does depend. And you can still full combo even after normal summoning this. It just requires a little bit more. So, you know, take that how you will. I'm thinking about changing this out and experimenting with some other things like Drag Down from the Grave. Just some ideas. Maybe we'll talk about those more in the next tech video. But this is what I played, and it did phenomenally well. Two Artifact Lancias. I was talking to somebody recently, and it sounds just a tad bit underwhelming. So it's something, again, that is possibly getting cut, but we'll see. Next, moving on to the spells, double Forbidden Droplets and then triple Dark Ruler no more. Again, I only own 2 droplets. That still stays true to this day, and I've been looking for the third, and I just haven't been trying very hard. But this ratio worked out fine for me. It's just for the build-a-board decks. Fortunately enough, I didn't really run into any. And I didn't have to negate any windows. I will say that. I didn't have to play against any windows, so that wasn't a super-duper worry. These cards only, seldom did they ever come in. It was mostly just for the mirror match. The droplets came in clutch in the mirror, though, I will say that. Triple Twin Twisters, you know, you gotta have it for the back row decks, along with the Harpy's Feather Duster and the Red Reboot. These wouldn't change for the life of me. Perfect cards. Maybe the Reboot, but no, when you run into that matchup, you want the Reboot in there. It really feels good to play that against the back row decks. Anyway, guys, that is it for my topping PPG list. If you're watching this on Grimm's channel, be sure to slide over to my video where we're going to go into some additional tech options, talking about the matchups and things of that nature. But yeah, link will be in the description down below for that. Anyway, guys, let's get into those techs. Alright guys, so thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Now I want to show you guys some things that I'm thinking about changing in the deck, as well as a couple bonus tech cards that I've been considering. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I told you guys already about how clutch Aqua Dolphin was, especially when it ripped the Droll out of my opponent's hand in the feature match. That was wonderful. However, there's another option that I've been considering that doesn't cost the normal summon, but serves a similar purpose, and that's Drag Down to the Grave. So if you don't know what this card does, each player reveals their hand, and the opponent selects one card in your hand and discards it to the graveyard, and you do the same to your opponent's hand. This gives you the same knowledge of what your opponent's playing, but here's the downside. Each player then draws one card. This is technically a neg-1, and it's a little bit risky because there's that one unknown card that you don't know what it's going to be. So that could be the blowout that you just gave them, which always makes me a little nervous, is why I'm not super duper crazy about this card, but I do really see the value in it as well because it doesn't cost you that normal summon. So this is something that I'm considering trying out in the side deck in the same vein as Aqua Dolphin, as something to consider trying for a hard-going first card that circumvents some hand traps and gives you similar knowledge. But again, it does serve that, it does have that little issue that I just discussed there. The one unknown card and the fact that it is technically a neg-1, and you do let your opponent see your hand, so you have to either start playing or make sure there's nothing in your hand that you want your opponent to discard, like a Dragoon piece or something like that. It gets tricky. It does get a little bit tricky. So it's an option. I'm going to try it, and we'll see how it goes. Moving on from there, something that I noticed I was struggling with a little bit was consistency. So I really don't like this card in Drytron, but I'm going to try it in the next builds, and that's Prosperity. This is a hot ticket issue if playing Prosperity is worth it in Drytron. And to tell you what, I used to play it before we got all of our new support cards for the added consistency. At that time it was essential. I cut it when we got the new cards because I didn't think we needed it anymore, and I wanted maximum capacity in my extra deck, especially if we had to go into a grind game. And now I'm at another point where it's like, half the time I lose a game, it's because I lost to myself, because I didn't see the cards I needed to, I bricked, something like that. It's just lame, and it makes me upset, so I want to add more consistency to the deck. And although this card does play into the Droll Lockbird, it can find you that missing piece of the puzzle. If you open a one-name hand in Prosperity, your chances officially go up by 3 cards, even 6 cards, if you feel the need to commit that hard to finding what you need. Also, post-side deck, this is a great card to reach for blowouts, like Twin Twisters, or Forbidden Droplets, or Dark Ruler No More. So there's a lot of benefits to this card, but also the downside of tapping into your extra deck, and the fact that it conflicts directly with your Delta Draw. Now, some people will say that the Delta Draw doesn't matter, and the added benefit of consistency that give you off of Prosperity outweighs the cost of the Delta Draw, but I find myself, you know, thinking that the Delta Draw is quite good. More oftentimes than not, sometimes it even gives you that extra name. So, I don't know, I'm 50-50 on it, but I really think in my next build I am going to be trying out Prosperity, and we'll see how it goes. Next thing I want to talk about, we mentioned this in the deck profile, the Lancia in the side was a little underwhelming, you know. I think I was playing a game that I lost against Drybrigade. I saw Lancia, I turn skipped, but I was still bricking. It didn't matter, it didn't help me when I was bricking. It is searchable, and the card that I'm thinking about, you know, how badly does it really circumvent it, I don't know. But what I'm thinking about swapping out the 2 Lancias in the side with the 2 Lancias in the red reboot would be triple copies of Bell. Honestly, I'm thinking about it. Bell is really good. My friend who also played Drytron at this event, he didn't do as well as me, but he still finished in the top 16. He was only main decking triple Bell as his only hand trap, and he said it came in super duper clutch. So I'm thinking about starting to experiment with this card and seeing how it works as a side deck option. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts about this. Please let me know what you think about Ghost Bell in the comments down below. Obviously, mirror match, it's good. Against the Tri-Brigades, it's really good to stop the revolt. We already have the Droll does not do that much, but the Veiler does serve quite well in that matchup. We could take out the Drolls and put in the Bells, and the Bells do more work, in my opinion. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm also thinking about perhaps sliding in one more Lancia into the main deck as a searchable option. I still want to play Lancia a little bit, and we used to do this in our old builds, the one searchable copy of Lancia, especially with the rise of Virtual World and popularity. Of course, it's an easy side-out slot. If we choose, if we see that we're not playing a good match, we can take this out. It also serves as a fairy to discard for your Ultimateness or your Herald of Orange Light. So I'm thinking about putting one of these copies back into the main deck. Not siding it anymore, but still main decking that one of copy to search off Ben 10 if the opportunity presents itself. Anyway, guys, that's my quick discussion about techs, options, and things I'm thinking about for the next iteration 4.0 of Drytron. I can't wait to test this out. Hopefully we can perform again at another IRL event. But yeah, guys, second place PPG Extravaganza tournament. Shout out to my boy Tim who beat me in the finals on stream. Good stuff. That's all I got today. Logan JYA signing off. Have a great day.